Ahoy, shipmates! Welcome back to the Cruise Ship Safety and Security channel. Have you ever looked at a ship, seen those little round windows and thought, why don't they just call them windows like normal people? Well, strap in, or should I say, take a peek through the porthole, because today we're diving into the world of portholes and figuring out why ships had to make even windows complicated. Spoiler alert, it actually makes sense. All right, imagine this. You're designing a ship. You want to add some nice big windows so you can enjoy the ocean view while sipping your morning coffee. Sounds great, right? Well, congratulations, you just sank your own ship. That's right, on land, windows are great. But at sea, they're just giant. Please let the ocean in signs. So why porthole? Why not just say round window or ocean peephole? Well, the word porthole comes from the French term porte, meaning door or opening. Basically a hole in the side of a ship that can be opened or closed like a door, but for the ocean, which is probably not a great idea to leave open. But here's where it gets confusing. Portholes are not just on the port side of the ship. Nope, they're on both sides. So no, porthole isn't short for port side hole. If it were, the ones on the starboard side would be, what? Star holes? Yeah, no. Okay, so why not just have normal square windows? Well, turns out sharp corners are the enemy of ships. When a ship moves, it flexes. The whole structure actually bends and twists as it rides the waves. But a round porthole? No corners, no stress points, no cracks. That shape evenly distributes pressure, keeping everything nice and watertight. So, unless you enjoy having seawater flood your cabin at 2 a.m., you should probably thank the engineers who figured this out. Ever noticed how thick porthole glass is? That's because it's not actually glass. Well, not the kind you have in your house. Regular glass would shatter the moment a big wave smacks the ship. Instead, portholes are made with tempered glass, sometimes as thick as 2 inches, built to withstand the force of the sea. Fun fact, some ships even have metal covers for their portholes called deadlights. No, not the spooky kind from ghost stories, just big metal plates that get bolted over the glass when a storm hits. Basically, stormproofing for when the ocean gets a little too aggressive. If there's so much trouble, why not just ditch them entirely? Well, here's the thing. Ships are basically metal tubes. Without portholes, you're just sitting in a windowless metal box, which is not a great vibe. Plus, they serve an actual purpose. Portholes let in natural light and fresh air, which is kind of important when you're stuck at sea for months at a time. Otherwise, every ship interior would feel like a giant storage container. So why are ship windows called portholes? They come from the French word port, meaning door or opening. They're round to prevent cracks and leaks. They're made of thick stormproof glass because the ocean plays by its own rules, and without them, ships would basically be floating steel prisons. So next time you see a porthole, give it some respect. It's the reason your cabin isn't full of ocean water and regret. Struggling to remember this? Here's a trick. Portholes keep the port out of your hole. Okay, that sounded better in my head. If you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more weird and wonderful nautical facts. Until next time, may your compass be true, your seas be calm, and may your portholes never leak.